a very warm welcome from local backpackers. Come join us in this video where we will be challenging ourselves in freezing temperatures, testing ourselves by climbing steep mountains, and eventually finding ourselves in the lap of one of India's most beautiful and little known valleys. We are taking you with us to the Dzukou Valley in Nagaland. And trust us, this adventure is going to be exciting from the start. So stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We visited Nagaland for the Hornbill Festival in December, and after an eye-opening cultural experience, we took a complete turn. And from the vibrant festival grounds, we went straight to the silent, massive mountains of Nagaland. The Dzukou Valley trek was on our bucket list for quite a while, and we were excited to finally do it. For the Hornbill Festival, we were staying in a campsite, and there we connected with our camp team to help us go for this trek. We paid 5,000 rupees per person for the overnight trek. This included complete to and fro transport from our campsite to Dzukou Valley, the stay at Dzukou Valley, lunch, dinner, and the next day breakfast. To do the Dzukou Valley trek, you can either take the route that starts from Jakhama village or Viswema village. We were going to take the Jakhama route and got picked up from our campsite, which was at Kisama village, Kohima. After seeing our mode of transport, we knew we were in for an amazing adventure. There, we met our fellow travelers, and the super bumpy ride got everyone excited.
Dzukou Valley, welcome to.
Finally. I have survived this one. Let's see.
Here is a quick breakdown of the overall path to Dzukou Valley. From Kohima to reach Jakhama base camp, we had to go through an 8-kilometer bumpy ride, which took almost 45 minutes. Then, from the base camp, the hardest part was the 1.5-hour steep trek to the Dzukou viewpoint. And from the viewpoint, it was another 2 to 3 hours straight flat trail to the main Dzukou campsite. So overall, the trek takes around 4 to 6 hours depending on your level of fitness. Once we reached the base camp, we got briefed by our trek guide. Usually, each trek group is assigned 2 guides for ensuring trekkers' safety and adherence to rules and schedule.
We'll be giving you one lunch break each. So this is not to eat here, okay? So you can have it on the viewpoint or at the base camp. So again, we won't be able to visit the valley today. So tomorrow, he'll be going down with you guys.
Once the briefing was done, our trek began. There was an option for purchasing a walking stick as well for 60 rupees from the base camp. There were other hikers with us climbing up, and many of them were coming down as well on the same trail. So it was important for everyone to be careful and give each other way. The first 1.5 hours of the trek were very hard and steep.
These 580 meters of inclined steps are one of the hardest parts of the Dzukou trek. It's quite difficult, at least this stretch. Then we'll reach the viewpoint and it's plain from there.
We kept climbing steadily and also took a few short breaks that helped us not tire much and also stick to the schedule. We were about to reach the viewpoint, and then we saw that we still had one steep last stretch to cross and a big rock to climb.
So we left for Dzukou Valley and started climbing at 11 a.m. and now it's 12:15. So the steep part, the top incline part, it takes approximately 1.5 hours, and we're almost there. It's just, I think, 10 minutes more to reach the viewpoint, and suddenly we saw this one big rock here and with ropes, and we're supposed to climb this now. And I hope this is the last part because it's quite tough, especially if you have a bag. This steep climb is extremely hard, especially in some parts you have to go on all your fours and then climb up. So wish me luck. I'm gonna go up and climb these ropes and reach the viewpoint.
And then we finally reached the viewpoint. There were many other trekkers resting there, having lunch that was given to us in a box to carry. After a 30-minute break at the viewpoint, we started the next part of the trek. Before reaching the straight trail, we still had a bit of steep parts ahead of us. But finally, we were on the flat trail, and these 2 to 3 hours of the trek were just amazing.
This is the supposedly flat surface that we'll be walking on for the next 4.5 kilometers. It should take us around 3 hours, and then we will be reaching our base camp. Once we reach our base camp, we will stay there for the night, and tomorrow early morning we'll go to the Dzukou Valley. Come.
Dzukou Valley is a high-altitude valley located at about 2400 meters on the border of Nagaland and Manipur. It is just below the Yakfu Peak in the Patkai mountain range of northeast India. The valley has a gentle, rolling topography shaped by streams and shallow slopes, and it sits within a cool temperate to subalpine ecosystem. Its vegetation is defined by vast hills covered in dense dwarf bamboo thickets, which give the landscape a meadow-like appearance. We were walking between this vegetation, which would suddenly open up to expose the vast rolling mountains.
So we've been walking for like half an hour now, and most of the route is straight with, of course, stones and rocks, etc. And the coolest part is that suddenly out of nowhere this bamboo umbrella will come, or big trees and shrubs and bushes will come, and suddenly the road will open and the valley will be seen. So it's very interesting, very beautiful, and it's not extremely hectic because it's a plain road, so you can walk at ease.
While hiking, we found tiny springs of water where we could fill up our bottle. We were advised to do so by other travelers, as there were chances of water shortage at the campsite above due to its extreme remote location. Well, most of the trail we covered was flat, but there were some parts where a little more effort was required. Here, in this moment, we couldn't believe that we were actually in the middle of a mountain in the remote highlands of Nagaland, taking a stroll with no idea what to expect later.
About to reach base camp.
After about 2.5 hours on the flat path, we found ourselves at our destination, the Dzukou Valley base camp. So we have arrived at the Dzukou Valley base camp and we will be spending the night here. So you can see tents behind me, and they also have dorms over here for people to stay in. They also have a kitchen where you can buy food, and they will be serving us dinner and breakfast as a part of our package. So a lot of people come here partnered with different agencies and companies, and they can choose their own packages as they want. So now we are going to go to this helipad area from where we can see a very beautiful sunset. And after the sun sets, we are going to have dinner, do a little bonfire, and then call it a night. So basically, tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., we need to get up and go to the valley because we've been told the views from the valley are actually beautiful and you can see frosted vegetation and plantation and stunning landscapes. So for that, we have to wake up at 5 a.m. and that's why we need to call it a night a little early today. So in December, generally, the weather here in the afternoons ranges from around 11 to 15 degrees, and at night, it can dip down to about 5 to 8 degrees. So if you're coming here, be well prepared, carry a lot of warm clothing like jackets and gloves. When we were coming up, it was quite pleasant actually. We got warm weather, so we were comfortably able to climb up. But we've been told that at night it's going to get extremely cold. So we are waiting to see how the weather is going to turn out to be. We dumped our bags in our tent and stretched our backs a little. We definitely savored this moment. But soon enough, we were trekking again. A short one this time to the helipad, which was on the opposite mountain. The green structure you see on the other side, that was our campsite. And many of our fellow hikers joined us at the helipad to see the sunset. So as we sit here watching this beautiful sunset, I thought I'll share an observation that I had. So this is my first time camping and trekking, especially such a huge trek. And I realized that every ounce of weight that you carry with you might become a burden for you at a later stage when you're trekking. And a lot of first timers don't understand this, but you should know that whatever items you carry when you're trekking, it should only be for survival. So I cannot think that I don't have an extra pair of shirt or I don't have my lipstick or my comb, right? All that becomes very material and secondary. All I need to do is carry a water bottle. And for high altitude treks like this, it's essential to carry jackets, gloves, things that are going to keep me warm and safe. So all in all, when you're traveling and having experiences like these, it's imperative to let go of these material things and get into the survival mode. Soon, we found ourselves a cozy little spot amidst the grass and waited for the sun to set. the sunset, the weather dipped and it got very cold. The campsite at Dzukou Valley is pretty basic and did not have lights. The fire made gave us sight and warmth. Of course, it was not just the fire that spread warmth. It was also the true sense of bond with fellow travelers who experienced the whole journey the same way we did. The evening got vibrant with music and dance under the bright moonlight.
Give me some rain. Give me another chance. I want to grow up once again.
After dinner, we called it a night and woke up at 5 a.m. to head deep into the valley. The walk to the valley was undulating and steep, as we had to cross one mountain after another. But once we reached the middle of the valley, as the sun slowly began to come up, we saw what everyone spoke of: quiet, stunning beauty in a place where time stood still.
So there are frosted vegetation. That's why people come at 5 in the morning, because once the sun comes, it'll all melt. So we saw a lot of frost on vegetation, and that's what people go down to see. And from top, we can see it looking white. That's the best part.
These high altitude meadows in Dzukou Valley were a sight to behold and an experience of a lifetime. After breakfast at about 8 a.m., it was time for us to say bye to the campsite and head down the same way we came up.
So our camp guide Ato, he told us that people have been coming to the Dzukou Valley for camping for the last 10 years. But earlier people would come themselves, they would get their own tent, they would cook their own food, and that was fine for a while. But because this entire thing was unmonitored, the valley became dirty, and it also was a bit of a nuisance. And then, in a recent incident, there was a campfire which led to a massive fire and burnt down almost the entire valley. These barren trees that you see, they are a direct result of that fire. After this, companies came together to conduct the Dzukou Valley trek in an organized fashion. So now you can choose any of these groups or companies, agencies, and come to do the Dzukou Valley trek with them. It's still fun. There's a lot of scenic beauty. You have good food, you have a lot of fun, you trek a lot, but it's all done in a controlled and organized fashion. We came with the Northeast hikers, and we'll leave their link in the description below.
The Dzukou Valley trek sure was intense. And our feet may not thank us.
I'm very tired.
But our heart and soul will definitely do.
Hooray! Hooray!
Thank you, Dzukou Valley, for giving us moments we'll quietly carry long after the journey ends. Next, we are taking you with us to Asia's first green village, which not only follows sustainable living model but also aces in living by ethics. This is the village in Nagaland where shops don't have shopkeepers and everyone believes in community living. Stay tuned as we are going to take a day trip to Honoma village, Nagaland and witness a unique way of living. Loved our video? Subscribe to us and follow us for lots more local travel content.
Bye.
Bye.